Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. I've got some fantastic secrets to share with you on how to create the perfect line art, especially if you're just starting out. Stick around until the end for some additional tips that will take your line art game to the next level. Let's dive right in. Step 1. Sketching. Step 1 is all about laying down the foundation for your artwork, which is the sketching. Take your time to create a clean and detailed sketch. It doesn't have to be perfect, but the cleaner your sketch, the easier it will be to create smooth line art later on. There are two simple ways to begin with your illustration. Either 1. Sketching from scratch or start without tools. 2. Use avatars or models for references and then do the sketching. What I like about Clip Studio Paint is that it has avatars that you can customize, so you won't have a hard time sketching the anatomy of the character. Also, what is very good about these avatars/models is that it also has a default lighting, so you won't be worrying about where to put the correct spot of the lighting on your characters. Step 2. Choose your brush. Moving on to step 2, choosing the right brush for your line art is crucial. Pick a brush that has a good balance between hardness and softness. A brush with some pressure sensitivity will give you more control over the thickness of your lines. Your brush doesn't have to be fancy. Personally, I like to use the default G pen brush of Clip Studio Paint because it creates defined strokes with how it recognizes the hard pen pressure with bold strokes and soft pen pressure with light strokes. Step 3. Set up your pen pressure. Now, let's talk about setting up your pen pressure. There is a pen pressure setting in the File tab on the upper left portion of Clip Studio Paint, and here is my pen pressure setting. Adjusting your tablet's pressure sensitivity ensures that your lines will vary in thickness based on the pressure you apply. Experiment with different settings until you find what feels most comfortable for you. Step 4. Doing strokes. Step 4 is where the magic happens, doing strokes. The key in creating neat and defined strokes doesn't rely on the settings of the brush or your pen stylus, but instead it heavily relies on your fingers. Take it slow and steady, focusing on creating smooth, confident lines. Don't be afraid to use short strokes, and rotate your canvas if needed to find a comfortable angle for your hand. These are the tips that I like to emphasize when doing strokes. Don't put too much pressure on your pen stylus, or don't press really hard on your drawing tablet. Also, don't put very light pressure on your pen stylus. Put enough pressure that the line will still be visible to the naked eye. There are 3 basic ways on how to create neat strokes. 1. Practice drawing long and defined strokes. Swiftly draw one long stroke following your sketch and continue for the rest of the piece. Don't forget to draw strokes on another layer on top of the sketch layer. 2. Liquefy some parts of the strokes you made. If no matter how much you draw a single stroke and it seems off or unpleasantly bent in some way, you can use the liquefy tool to correct it and move the stroke or line in place. Take note that this is only for minor flaws of your line art. 3. Lasso and drag, if necessary. If there is a big gap or major disarrangement of a single stroke, no matter how you try to draw the perfect stroke, you can use the lasso tool and select that specific stroke and drag/adjust until it follows the flow of your sketch. Step 5. The final step, adding line weight. Varying the thickness of your lines adds depth and dimension to your artwork. Think about where shadows would fall and where you want to emphasize details and keep others delicate for highlights. Adding line weight is the final and essential trick to make your line art attractive and neat. There are 5 parts of the illustration you must add line weight. 1. Y intersection. 2. Edges. 3. Objects that are close to the camera, like this hair. 4. Objects on top of another object, like this hat. 5. Outlining or parts of the illustration where the light doesn't hit. Bonus trick: if you feel like your strokes are too thick, you can adjust it on the Filter tab on the upper portion of your CSP and click Correction. Then you can see Line Weight Adjust and adjust the line art on the chosen layer to thin. Now, for some additional tips to elevate your line art game. prepare your tools, make sure to have your undo, rotate, eraser, hand, zoom in and out, and your brush pen tool ready. These are the basics you need for creating perfect line art. Layer control. You can create one layer for your line art, but I recommend having different layers on different parts of the illustration, body, face, hair, clothes, so it will be much easier to adjust and correct the strokes or use the vector layer to erase overlapping lines. Lower opacity. Lower the opacity on lines that don't need line weight. Use the airbrush tool and lightly erase unnecessary lines to create a clean and polished look. Avoid fuzzy lines. Take your time, be precise, and use short, controlled strokes for crisp and clean results. Lastly, detailed illustration. Make your illustration detailed, but not overly so. This will make your line art pop even more, bringing out the essential details. And there you have it, the secrets to creating the perfect line art for beginners. I hope you found these steps helpful. Remember, it's all about practice and finding what works best for you. If you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more art-related content. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy drawing!